The whole idea of coastal management and the need for it is driven by oil and gas, offshore oil and gas production currently within the west coast of Ghana. I can say for a fact that development proposals and applications for large facility siting, for development of additional residential settlements, for tourism infrastructure had more than doubled within the tiny coastal strip where offshore oil and gas exploration was happening. So that became an issue for the municipalities that were fronting the oil and gas production activities. There wasn't enough capacity at that level, the municipality level, to address all the issues and the competing uses that emerged as a result. So the government has significant interest in maintaining, on the one hand, the economy or the revenues that will be generated through oil and gas production, but at the same time, the livelihoods and the food security of those impoverished, coastal populations that have been living there for ages and years need to also be maintained as well. So on the seascape, I think we are having a big issue with how to, plan for the marine space in such a way that we will have oil and gas and fishing activities coexisting, and then the government deriving, on the one hand, revenues from oil activities, but also making sure that the livelihoods and the sustenance of these fisherfolk families and households are maintained. So in terms of responding to the question of applying creativity, in 2009, led by the Coastal Resources Center of the University of Rhode Island, USAID funded a project that was called the Integrated Coastal and Fisheries Governance Initiative. In my opinion, that was a major effort in terms of helping, if you like, the whole country to think through what processes that coastal and fisheries governance could be initiated in order to respond to all these pressures that is mainly driven by oil and gas production. And one of the key achievements of that process was that we were able to build enough capacities, especially at the municipal level, for land use planning, for spatial planning, and also build a huge momentum that involved all or majority of the stakeholders who really understood the need for initiating this type of effort to respond meaningfully to all the pressures that were generated mainly through oil and gas production offshore. Now, after 2013, when the project ended, the government has taken this further and now initiated what they call the Interministerial Marine and Coastal Oversight Council. There are existing regulatory procedures that is embedded in about 12 ministries and agencies who have disparate responsibilities for managing different aspects of the coast and also the marine space. So these institutions have been brought together within the framework of the Interministerial Council. And I think that, for me, it's one of the key strategies or one of the steps forward in order to make sure that we have stakeholder input and engagement within that institutional context. The fact that the oil companies are becoming more and more concerned about security and safety issues around the oil rigs. As we speak, the fishermen, because of the declining stocks, are using desperate measures and procedures and approaches to catch fish and make ends meet. So they are more and more making incursions into the exclusive zones around the oil rig, and these are have huge security implications. So this gives even more concern and urgency at the level of the industry to do something. So I think the first approach will be to look at oil and gas and fisheries interaction, and then on top of that, overlay other uses of the marine space, and then try and figure out a way of negotiating all these competing uses and having a plan that is all encompassing. So my hope is that with all these interests and the urgency that all stakeholders see in the need to ensure coexistence, of all the multiple uses on the marine space, it gives us the momentum and the energy, as facilitators to go ahead and go in there to ensure dialogue in a meaningful way to address all the issues that is bedeviling the marine space.